It's time to pop the top off with Pub Talk. We have Pub Talk All-Stars, as always. And we'll also have football, college, NFL. You got it. And we'll actually have some baseball talk. The World Series is coming to an end. And Hops of the Week to finish it all off. But before we begin, Pub Talk is brought to you by Route 11 Chips. It's football season. Weekends are all about college and NFL football and baseball right now. Just by sitting on the couch or throwing a huge football party, you're going to need some chips, and Route 11 has got you covered. Since 1992, Route 11 has been chipping away to give its consumers a great and tasty product. So make sure you stop at your local Martin's, Food Lion, and Giant to pick up a bag today. All right, lights, beer, action! Welcome back to Pub Talk, brought to you by Route 11 Chips. Coach and CJ on Monday night, hashtag late night podcasting on Monday night.
Dude, I'm telling you, freaking Monday night game, Fitzmagic, Dolphins, your Stillers.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Mason Rudolph finally back at it because he looked like he got
taken off.
You got knocked the fuck out, man. two games ago against Baltimore, but he's back, he's healthy. But we'll get to the Steelers later in NFL talk. Pub Talk All-Stars, of course.
Ooh.
I am drinking Port City Monumental IPA.
That's damn good beer right there.
Yeah, it's very good. It's, of course, I don't want to say it beats the Port City Porter.
No.
But it's still up there with the beers that we have had from Port City and Alexandria.
After football season, I think I'm going to take me a trip down to Port City. I'm going to get hammered on freaking the Porter.
Gotcha.
I think so.
And then on the other side, we have Fancy Clancy once again on the other side.
Man. I'm telling you what, I can't get enough of this beer. It's like I said, we were talking about how the pricing of this stuff isn't cheap, but all good things come at a cost, and I think at some point you got to spend a few bucks to enjoy good flavor. And I'm not saying that I don't enjoy my good Bud Light every once in a while, but a good Fancy Clancy or one of those beers that has been an all-star for us, man, I don't mind spending a few extra bucks on them.
Absolutely.
I just don't.
It's a perfect place for the pub, which we are in, and that means we're going to get right into it.
Yeah.
Baseball is going on. We only have a week, and not even a week. We only have a couple days left. The Nationals have really disappointed me, honestly, with the way they've been playing. They started out so hot. Going 2-0, they beat the Astros' best two pitchers, Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander. They looked very strong, especially in the second game against Verlander. And they come back home. They get a 3-game stretch. Hey, you're thinking they got the brooms ready. And by God, they shat the bed. They have lost all three, and they've lost all three very convincingly. It hasn't even been close. And now you have to go back to Houston to finish it off.
100%.
And Houston won 3 games in a row, so they only need 1 game. Can Washington even come back from this? I really don't think so, because are we going to see Max Scherzer? That's going to be a big thing because he was brought out for back spasms.
His neck.
Oh, neck spasms? Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. I am not an
ESPN
he got up
inside and told the coach, he said, I can't go, man. My neck is bothering me. He had some neck spasms. Injuries crop up and they hit your best players, and it's a shame, especially at this time of year. You're playing the freaking probably the favorites, the odds-on favorites at the time. They had the best record in baseball.
Yeah, of course.
They got a veritable murderer's row of hitters. Everybody in their lineup hits. They got great pitching.
Attitude is kind of fallen off though from this because it's really disheartening, but it's also like, come on, people. It's Washington sports. Sometimes this stuff happens, apparently, in Virginia. It really does. The Nationals just do not look like the team that they were in the first 2 games.
Right. They haven't been able to overcome much, and that's disappointing, especially with a great start to the series. It looked very promising, and now has it's almost like anticlimactic. It's just like, hey, let's wait to the Astros get back home and then they'll win it at home. And I didn't want to see that. I'm not a Nats fan. I'm ready to switch over to be a Nats fan. I liked what they did. I hated the fact that they beat my Dodgers, but at the same time, I'm ready to move on from Dave Roberts and the boys. As much as I don't want to, it'd be nice to cheer for a local team and enjoy baseball in Washington. Hey, maybe this sparks them and they come back to the playoffs and they be a consistent playoff team and maybe get a World Series in the future.
And then Juan Soto just chugs a beer right on the freaking mound. I mean, he just turned 21, so I hope he chugs a beer right there out on the field once they win. But you would think that the Dodgers would be the toughest test to the Nationals because they need to get over the hump, and they got over that hump, but now they're fucking sucking.
Yeah.
Now they're not doing very good in the World Series, and
that's a shame.
It really is a damn shame for the Nationals. But
hey, you never know. You come out. I don't know if Verlander's pitching or not. I didn't check the probable for tomorrow. But he is not a proven commodity in the World Series. I don't know.
He's winless, isn't he? He doesn't have a win.
I mean, he's as bad as Kershaw. He's as bad as Kershaw in the playoffs.
Yikes.
So if they throw him, maybe there's a little spark left, and then it's a winner-take-all Game 7.
Hey, but it doesn't matter because the last game, well, there were some very hot commodities shown on TV. There were some girls flashing the TV, and people say baseball is boring and baseball is not fun. Well, that was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I saw Big Cat's tweet. He's like, what the fuck? I missed it.
Shit, I missed the tits. Please bring them back. But
I did. I saw it.
You saw it live?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I didn't see it live. I saw the.
You saw the video?
Yeah, everybody seemed to have it on Twitter, and I got to take a look.
And then that woman also got like a letter from the MLB saying like you have been banned from all MLB events now.
What?
Yeah, because she flashed the kid.
Who cares?
I know.
What kind of a world do we live in?
Just when you thought baseball was going to be more fun, they go away and take the tits. They take the tits away.
Yeah, and then I see this article about the idea that the electronic strike zone is a very real possibility coming. And I'm like, what are we doing to sports? What are we doing? We're taking out the human element. Why don't we play the game between robots then, or just simulated computer games? Why do we have to actually play the game? Then you don't have to pay anybody. You can just bet on the games, Well,
that's usually what people do anyway. So baseball is about to end. Hope maybe whenever we're here on Sunday or Monday, it'll be over and the World Series will be done and dusted. Well, no, it will be ending this week. October's almost over. Yeah, it's going to end this week. So we'll have an update for that. Yeah. College football, I'd like to call this week two things. One, the upset week, and two, what the fuck happened week.
Yeah.
Because I did not see a lot of the games because I was tailgating at the JMU Dukes game, so I was getting hammered and having a great time. And I was checking all the scores and the highlights of all the other games. And the game that I basically kept showing to my brother as I was drinking back Crown Apple is the Oklahoma versus Kansas State game. That's the number one thing for me is that you have a Heisman candidate with Jalen Hurts.
And he played well.
But it comes out once again, the sham that is Oklahoma to me. It is a sham. I believe that ever since Lincoln Riley has come there, I don't give a shit if he has brought two Heisman starting quarterbacks. I don't give a shit. You are the head coach, and you should be able to put a defense on the field that doesn't give up 50 points.
Yeah, I think the days of just outscoring people are over with. I mean, at some point, you have to put a quality product on the other side of the ball. Now, that's not to say, having been around coaching a long time, I've always believed that there are three phases. Everybody does that.
Yeah, there's offense, defense, and special teams.
Special teams.
You're right.
And by all accounts, most special teams at the college level at these Power 5 and elite schools, they're all the same. So what separates you? Well, what separates you is quality defense. That's what separates you. Yes, it's one thing to crank out yards and score points and everything like that. But if you can't stop anybody, you can't win. You cannot win a national championship with a crap defense. You just can't.
It was going to come anyway with Oklahoma. It had to come at some point. It happened last year, and it happened the year before with Baker Mayfield. But the only difference is that this year they lost to the wrong team, because 2 years ago and last year they lost to quality opponents in Texas and I want to say Iowa State. I think they lost to Iowa State. And so you lose to those opponents. Well, those are top 25 teams. They're quality opponents. You lose to Kansas State. Now, Kansas State, I listen to a lot of college football podcasts, and they blow them the fuck off. And I'm like, look, their head coach has been a part of 5 straight national championships. No, excuse me, 6. He is a 6-time national champ. No, 7. I am so sorry.
Well, what is it?
7. It's
5,
7.
6, or 7?
He
What the hell?
He was a defensive coordinator for 4 and a head coach for 3 of them. At North Dakota State, the Bison of the FCS, a powerhouse. No, the powerhouse of the FCS.
Right. They're the benchmark for quality
And he
programs.
goes into Kansas State. He gets the head coaching job, which he should. He wants to excel himself.
He took a step up.
And so far, he has excelled that program right now, because with their old head coach, they were going – he had to retire at some point.
Right. He's 400 years old. Bill
Exactly.
Snyder was like –
Bill Snyder was not getting it done.
I think he started coaching when the earth was cooling, so
he looks like Imhotep, basically. And
at some point he has to step away.
Exactly.
He just does. He just got to step away. And there's no disrespect to Bill Snyder, probably one of the most beloved and well-coached or well-liked coaches in college football history.
But Chris Kleiman, he was the right fucking man for this job.
It's time to step aside. And I think if you look back at Bill Snyder, he was ready to walk away. And I bet he probably had something to do with the Kleiman, Coach Kleiman, ending up at K-State, which, there's nothing wrong with that. Step into a great program with great tradition. You got to like it when the freaking stadium's named after the head coach, and he was
Snyder
still
Stadium.
coaching. Yeah. What is it? Bill Snyder Family Stadium or Family Arena or some shit like that. Interesting.
It's like, I'm home every single week. The next game I want to talk about,
How many
though.
years was he there?
Go ahead. Probably over 30 years.
I'm just looking.
The next game I want to talk about, though, is the game that I had hyped up for the past couple of weeks, but it was ruined by what happened last week when Illinois beat Wisconsin. And this week, it basically just fell completely off the rails. Ohio State versus Wisconsin. If Wisconsin didn't lose to Illinois, I think they would have played a better game. But they got exposed against Illinois, and they got absolutely hammered against Ohio State, 38-7. Ohio State right now, I think, is the second best team in the country. I think they're better than Alabama. I think they're better than Go ahead.
Oh, Bill Snyder, he was the head coach at K-State for 27 years. He won 215 games as the coach there, 2 Big 12 championships, and played in 19 out of 27 years they were in a bowl. Yeah.
So there for a fucking long time.
Yes.
He's a mummy, basically. But back to Ohio State. Like I said, I think they're the second best team in the country, only behind LSU, which I'll get to here shortly. But Ohio State right now is just seems like the standard for college football right now in terms of explosiveness and steadiness on defense, because they have both. Ohio State. They show explosiveness on offense and perfect balance on defense as well. They have one of the best defensive linemen in Chase Young on the defensive line.
Okay.
Well, what
okay, I'm just saying that there are teams that are. Look.
Go ahead.
How do you?
I'm all ears. I want them to fucking lose. I'm all ears, please.
I'm just saying.
I want someone to crack the code here for this team.
Well, it's been cracked before because. There's 3 quality teams that I feel are better than them. That's Alabama, Clemson, and LSU. When you look at what they've done over the last several years, just Clemson and Alabama. Clemson and Alabama over the last 3 years have a combined 4 losses. Between both teams, 4 losses in 3 years. So
I'm not saying that Clemson is awful.
and
I
the-
am definitely not.
LSU's 8-0, Clemson's 8-0, Alabama's 8-0, Ohio State 8-0.
You're
okay.
right.
And well, until you play each other,
I know.
it's okay. They all three of them
It's
have
the
good
eye
defense.
test for me, though,
Yeah.
because when I look at Clemson, I look at their. I know they can only play who they have on their schedule, but the fact remains is that there is nobody in the ACC. There is fucking nobody.
Hey, there's Pitt, right? They play Pitt.
And that was the team that they lost to 2 years ago when they won the national championship against Alabama. Fuck, I don't want another Alabama-Clemson championship game. Just fucking end the streak of it. I'm tired of it. It's been, 4 years in a row now?
They're going to be
that
in,
they've played each
because
other.
of recruiting, because of success. They are going to be there year in and year out. They are. The only way that it won't happen is if Dabo Sweeney or Nick Saban leave their jobs and for some reason recruits decommit or something else comes along and changes it. But I don't see anybody but those teams ending up there. And then I'm telling you what, Ed Ogeron at LSU right now.
Go Tigers.
Go Tiger. Go Tiger.
Thanks, Boom.
We're going to play some football. Go Tiger. Ed Ogeron's quickly building
Man,
a
he's
program.
doing a fantastic job.
Yeah,
there.
and you know as well as I do, success begets success. And so when you have a team like LSU that's performing out of their mind, holy cow. You're just going to get recruits. People are going to want to come and play there. That's the bottom line. What's going on with our computer?
No,
there?
it's fine. I'm just working on it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, as much as people want to give credit to Ohio State, and I just look at LSU, Clemson, Alabama, and I say, man, O'Day, they got a lot of work ahead of them. I mean, to take down one of those teams, not saying it's impossible. It is not impossible on any given day.
But that's
any
the
one
difference.
One of those teams can lose. But you know as well as I do, a team like LSU is battle tested.
Absolutely. Baton Rouge is one of those places you don't fuck with.
Right.
Okay. It is one of those.
I'm gonna look at their schedule. Go ahead. Keep
But
going.
no,
Fire
I
away.
wanted to say, you're right about these 5-star recruits. You're getting the recruits in the right places. But that's the difference between. Sorry, we're watching the game.
Oh,
Miami
they
just
picked him.
picked off
Holy
Mason
shit!
Rudolph.
Miami's
Sorry.
gonna lose the first pick.
Oh my god. And as I was saying, you get these 5-star recruits in these great places. When I look at Oklahoma, you have a coach like Lincoln Riley who is getting all these 5-star recruits, but he isn't still building a fucking defense that is allowing his team to succeed. If you're the head coach, fucking build a good defense. If you know you have a good offensive scheme, what is the problem with you wanting to put good players on defense? What is the problem? I look at LSU, I look at Alabama, I look at Clemson. They have a balanced attack on both sides of the ball, and they get the best recruits in the country.
Yeah.
Same thing with you, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Georgia. Georgia is exactly like Oklahoma. 5-star recruit after 5-star recruit after 5-star recruit can't win a goddamn thing when it comes to big-time games.
Yeah. I think that on any given day, any team can win a national championship. On any given day, it just happens. I mean, there are bigger upsets. There's been bigger upsets than somebody taking down an LSU, a Clemson, Alabama.
But I really had
November
high
11th
hopes.
or November 9th. November 9th is LSU versus Alabama. That's going to be the true test.
Oh, yeah, here in 2 weeks. I really think that Tua is going to be back, though, because
Yeah, I think so.
a high ankle sprain, no, he'll be back for
He had
it,
minor
no question.
surgery. He had some
Yeah, I
surgical
know.
procedure.
I know, but when Nick Saban said, 2 weeks, it's yeah, because that's for LSU. Of
All
course.
right.
You want to beat
I know
them.
we bashed these guys before, and I was pissed off about it. But how about the fighting Harbaughs and the ass beating Notre Dame took from freaking
What does
Michigan?
What does that say, though?
I know. What does that say?
I really think it shows that Notre Dame is overrated.
Maybe Notre Dame's a little overrated.
I
but
think that it also-
is it possible that Michigan just wasn't meeting or reaching their potential?
I just still think it's Notre Dame being overrated because we saw Michigan struggle against even mediocre teams like Army. Army's not no showboating top 5 team in the country. They really struggle with them. But what I wanted to say about that is that really shows that the game they played against Georgia, Notre Dame,
Yeah.
Georgia really isn't that good then.
Maybe.
Because if they are holding Notre Dame to a 6-point win,
Timeout.
that's
Timeout.
it.
Timeout.
Like I mean that's not good for Georgia. And then Michigan just throttles. I don't give a shit
is
if
it
it's
Michigan?
a downpour.
Like I just said, is Michigan playing to their potential, and they're actually a better team than people have given them credit for?
I don't think so. I don't like Shea Patterson. I think Shea Patterson is a struggling quarterback. I said it last year and I said it this year. He's still struggling.
What do you think about the McCaffrey kid?
Oh,
he should get reps.
Well, I mean, he has gotten reps when Patterson has really done bad.
Right.
It has happened. Yeah, I think he came in against Army, I want to say, at one point.
All I know is they played in less than spectacular conditions, and they played lights out.
Yeah.
So if that's what they're doing, playing to their potential, against the Notre Dame team
But
that's questionable, but they're able to play at that level, maybe there's some good stuff there, and we just overlooked it.
But I also feel that it's more of Harbaugh telling his guys, you're not going to play for the national championship. You can't worry about the fucking rankings anymore. Just go out there and play football.
Right.
And
Let's just play the game. Let's play.
And that's what I wish Michigan would have done in the first place. If they say, like, look, I don't care about the rankings. I just want to play football.
Holy shit, Miami just scored.
Yikes, Steelers. Jesus.
Miami just scored on the Steelers.
Yeah, but
Look at they're getting a picture taken. I love that part. I love that when they get
The
on
celebrations.
the celebrations. Thank God they allow the guys to do that.
Yeah, because in college they fucking don't. They're just like, oh, you have to have straight A's. You also have to have no hair, right? Right, Mr. The guy for Penn State. I forget his fucking name, but
James Franklin.
No, the guy who sent
He
that
has no
guy
hair.
a letter. I wasn't even trying to go for
Oh,
that.
that guy. That
the guy who
dumbass.
sent the letter.
Yeah, you know what? He's from like Johnstown area, and
That's really
Vigna.
That's really bad.
He
Then,
came
'cause-
from like Vigna's hometown.
Oh, that's a Pittsburgh area.
Westmont.
Then. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Western PA.
Well, that just ruined my night. But I wanted to say, like, yeah, you're right. But I just don't think. I wish teams would play like that all the time. It's like, I don't give a fuck if we're the number 1 team in the country. We're just going to go out there and play ball. But another game that I wanted to say, hey, I called it last week. I said TCU's going to beat Texas, and what happened? TCU beat fucking Texas.
I think we talked about it. I'm going back looking at my scripts from before and the notes we took, and I thought you said something about that.
I said TCU beat Texas.
I couldn't remember what we were.
And then
No, most of them were all. I didn't have that. I had Notre Dame, Michigan, Auburn, LSU, Wisconsin, Ohio State were the 3 big games. What could we expect? I didn't pick a winner, but I thought that those would be 3 big games.
But by the way, the rivalry between Michigan and Notre Dame, I'm going to say it right now. I don't give a fuck about it. Like, I really don't care about this rivalry. Okay? It doesn't even
Which one?
compare. Notre Dame versus Michigan. Like, it just doesn't even compare to me to, like, an Ohio State-Michigan game or an Alabama-LSU game. It just doesn't hit that hype factor. Or even Notre Dame-USC. It doesn't even hit that hype factor where you're like, man, this is going to be an excellent game. I can't wait to see it, even though Ohio State and Michigan has been pretty terrible the past couple of years. But, yeah, I said TCU could beat Texas because Texas is a struggling team right now. Sam Ehlinger, I think he's a mediocre quarterback, honestly. I really do. Like, he came out last year. They won the bowl game. We're back. And ever since then, they haven't done shit. They've lost to top-tier teams. And then they lose to TCU. Like, that isn't a good team. That is an 8-4, 7-5 type of team that is going to go to a bowl game and win it and get a ring that you basically didn't prove anything.
Right.
Like, that's what Texas is recently. And until they fix their defense at DBU, right? DBU, even though you give up 500 passing yards a game. So Texas is just a mediocre team right now. Tom Herman, I think he's a good coach, but I don't think that they're the real fucking deal. I don't. And until they get a Vince Young 2.0, they won't be the real fucking deal. because he was the last guy to take them to the promised land, other than maybe Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
But I wanted to also talk about Penn State. I mean, this was a trap game for them against Michigan State.
It could have been. I think so. I think we made that. I think I'm looking back. I'm trying to review notes from last week.
I said it was a trap game because Michigan State seems to get the better of them when they go up to East Lansing.
Right, but Michigan State is just not there.
Mike D'Antonio has not proven his team this year. They were ranked at one point, but you can't say that now.
No.
And they only scored 7 points, and it was 28-0 at one point against Michigan State for Penn State. And
when I watch Michigan State play, I see a team that plays fundamental defense. They do. They really play pretty decent defense.
Oh, yeah. They're always going to have that strong defense, yeah.
Right. They look, in the world of football, what you try to do defensively is you try to take away what the other team does well, right? And you take away the simple things, and you kind of boil it down to, hey, this is what it's going to take for us to have an opportunity to win. Yep. And I think Michigan does that. But what about those teams that think outside the box and they really pressure your defense and they really make your defense work to stop them?
Like Ohio State.
Because they do things that are unconventional, because they take shots, because they
and I'm surprised about that from Penn State, who is always this play not to lose type of offense.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, very conservative. You'd think that they would have played into the hands
big play, sorry.
big play. They would have played into the hands of Penn State.
Exactly. And that's
but what Penn State does on offense is not the same as what they've done in the past. It's just not. And so I think that
against Michigan they played not to lose, though. I will say that. But against Michigan State,
they just bent Michigan State over and said, "Hey, this is what we're doing," and they just had their way with them. And as much as I love D'Antoni, I just think that's I think there's more that can be done there. And they even, if you look at how their staff was developed this year, they sat down and they tried to come up with a way of how are we going to make our offense go? How are we going to do things? Are we going to think outside the box? Are we going to do those things? And it just hasn't come to fruition. And unfortunately, Michigan State is going through a very, very rough year. It remains to be seen if that will stick.
All right, two more games I want to get to. Auburn versus LSU. I said last week that I thought LSU was going to mop the floor with Auburn because I think Auburn is an 8-4 team. They may have a very good defense, but on offense, Bo Nix is not getting it done right now.
He's very young.
He's a freshman quarterback. I'm not taking anything away from him. But they look like an 8-4 team who have lost to a bunch of top-tier opponents. They got away with a win against Oregon, but they lost to Florida very handedly, and then now they have lost to LSU, two top 10 opponents, and you cannot go to the national championship if you don't have those types of wins. Now, I will say this. They kept it close against LSU, and I guess that's more of a testament to their defense, though, but they only lost by 3, but that was because they scored a late touchdown to make it within 3. But LSU, they showed some signs of weakness, but I'm still not putting them on because I still think Auburn was a very high to mediocre team that they played against. But LSU got away with the win, and now they're the new number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, I just I don't agree with that, but it is what it is. It's it's the pollsters doing their thing. So it is what it is. I
know.
I won't argue anymore.
And then
it just seems kind of ridiculous to me that you're the number 1 ranked team in the country. Last year, you win the national championship. You have what is considered probably one of the greatest teams ever assembled and win the national championship, blowing out Alabama. You start this season 8-0, and they go, well, you're not convincing enough. You're not winning well enough. So we know you haven't lost. We know you haven't done anything differently, but we're going to reduce you in ranking. And that just, to me, seems ridiculous. Until the top 2 teams, Alabama and Clemson, lose, or unless they lose, there's no other way to explain it. Unless they lose, they should remain 1-2 until something says that they don't belong there.
Oh, I absolutely agree. They're the kings right now still. No one has dethroned them.
Right.
And you can't say...
Oh, that's out of bounds. He's out of bounds.
But the other game I wanted to talk about, I'm not going to talk about the game, but I'm going to talk about their standing right now is Minnesota, because here in 2 weeks they are going to play against Penn
Row
State.
that boat, baby.
They are going to play against Penn State, 2 undefeated teams in the Big
Like
Ten.
me some PJ Fleck, man.
Yeah.
You talk about a motivating guy, man.
Yeah, I was reading some things about like people are they just I guess they just hate people in general, saying like PJ Fleck. If there's one guy I hate, it's PJ Fleck, and it's no one gives a fuck about your 0 like post on Twitter, man. Like I look at PJ Fleck and I say, dude, he's turned a program around from a basic Minnesota State from Coach the show to powerhouse right now in the Big Ten. He really has. And it's all thanks to his motivation and his row the boat signia up there. And right now they're undefeated. Like, look, they may be not one of the best undefeated teams in the country, but what about Baylor? Like, what about these other teams that are coming up through the rankings and they haven't fucking lost a game yet? Baylor's going to play against Oklahoma here in a couple of weeks. And what are we expecting from them? Like, what happens if they come out and beat Oklahoma? What happens if Baylor goes undefeated and beats Oklahoma twice in the regular season and in the Big 12 championship game? I wouldn't keep them out of the college football playoff then, because they beat those quality opponents.
I love Coach Rule down there. I've been a big fan of his too. I think he stepped into an impossible position there at Baylor after the freaking
Not
ugly eyebrows.
Just like
and what has happened since that time is he's
turned around what was a bad program,
a very, very bad situation,
into what Scott Frost did, basically. Well, I don't want to say what Scott Frost did was with like sexual assault and everything, but he turned UCF from a 0-12 team into an undefeated season. I mean, that's pretty remarkable, honestly. So, and I see what you're saying about Mark Rule, because, yeah, he has turned one of the worst situations in college football history into a shining star for Baylor University right now.
And he got it.
No, he picked it off.
Oh, he picked him. I thought he caught it. Did he take it away from him?
Yeah, he picked him off. Man, Steelers are sucking right now.
Dude, put the young kid in.
2 interceptions for Mason Rudolph in his first game back. Wow, on his first 2 drives, too. This is not looking good for Pittsburgh right now, and they're down 7-0. All right, we have some games coming up here very soon, but I mean for college football, like I said, Penn State and Ohio State, is it going to come down to them? Penn State's ranked number 5 and Ohio State's ranked number 3. Is it going to come down to them? Like, do you think that could win the Big Ten there?
Wait a minute. If LSU is number 1, who is 2 and who is 3?
2 is Alabama.
Who is 3?
Ohio State.
And they put Clemson at 4?
Yes.
Jesus. What is wrong with our world? What is wrong with these sports people, man? I don't get it.
It's all the eye test, man, and it's the strength of schedule. But once again, I go like, they can't do anything about that. I think really people were thrown off by that North Carolina game. I really think that people were like, you only beat North Carolina by 1 fucking point.
Okay, big deal.
They still won the fucking game.
Yes, as far as I know, that's a W. It's not
Since
like
last season, they haven't lost a fucking game.
Yeah.
They still have the country's longest win streak.
They're 23-0.
Exactly.
They went 15.
Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
How is that putting them at 4th? It's like, well, they're not doing good right now. What happens if they get into the playoff? What if they smoke everybody again?
Then it's stupid. Because
right now, if it goes into the playoff, they're going to play against
LSU.
LSU.
We need electronic umpires right now. That's what I'm thinking.
All right.
That's what happens when we rely on freaking computers to start doing things. And they write some stupid algorithm because some freaking, I don't know. Just not.
All right.
Before I get started, don't make me fire off about.
Don't make me come in there.
No.
All right. On to
Clay
NFL
Matthews
football.
Jr.
On to NFL football as it's on the TV right now.
Yep.
I'm going to start
the
off.
Bears suck.
Go right ahead. Just
the Bears
I'm going to dump the beer
suck.
on them right away. Just the Bears.
Bears.
No, the Bears don't suck. Fucking Trubisky sucks.
He just doesn't make a move. You know what I mean? I don't know.
He looks like Eli Manning right now with that face, basically, that he gets.
I just want more for the Bears, and it's not there.
They deserve more.
Well, there were such high hopes based on last season that they would come in and be able to get things done, and they're just struggling.
And what has happened? Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, how do you go from Coach of the Year, 12-4, third seed in the NFL, to
double doink, and now you're taking it in the ass?
Exactly.
I don't get it.
I don't understand. You have one of the best, if not the best, defense in the NFL, and you are killing them. You are fucking killing the Bears. Last week, not this week, but last week, you ran the ball 7 times. You ran the fucking ball 7 times. You are killing your defense.
Yeah,
you are fucking killing them, Matt Nagy.
I don't get it. I'm not sure why.
And then you lose to the 2-5 Chargers, who are now 3-5.
Whoa.
Congratulations to Phillip Rivers. But come the fuck on, Matt Nagy. What is this? Why is this happening? You have such good... Allen Robinson is a fucking beast. Tariq Cohen, David Montgomery, Trey Burton, they're fucking beasts. They are fantastic players, and your quarterback sucks eggs. He fucking sucks.
Eggs?
He fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson is out there slinging the ball around, and you fucked up by picking the guy who
could have had
started,
Patrick Mahomes.
Or Patrick Mahomes. But you picked the guy who had 1 season at North Carolina. You picked the guy who went 12-0. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Deshaun Watson won a national championship.
At this point, it's crazy when you look back at it. And I think Bears fans, when they looked at that decision to pick Trubisky, it looked good. It felt good last year, but it has not been good. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all if they moved on from him at the end of the season.
I hope so, man. Because, like I said, I feel bad for the Bears. Khalil Mack is the best defensive player in the NFL besides Aaron Donald. He is. He is a game changer. Danny Trevathan and Roquan Smith are perfect together.
I think
and Eddie Jackson
I think
are the same
defense,
thing.
but you put them out there on the field that often because
they're
going to
die. They just are.
You just don't. All right, I'm done with the Bears.
All right. We'll move on.
So painful to me. It really is. I think about them. Look, if I compare them to
you
the
want to
struggle,
keep going on the Bears?
Well, no, I'm trying to compare them to other struggles that exist in the game, and one of them is I look at it like the struggle that the Redskins face with their management structure and their team that's in flux and stuff like that. And I say to myself, you see a team like that, and they've been battered by injuries, they've lost a coach, and so on and so forth. And I don't see the Bears as being much more productive than a team like that. You know what I mean? They don't score any. We don't score any.
You don't score any fucking points.
Yeah,
and neither do the Redskins or the Dolphins. Like, you have all these problems.
They scored.
But the Bears
already,
are set up for success. You had a coach who went 12-4 last year, and you've won 3 games so far.
Yeah.
And you should have won all of them.
Yep.
You should have won every single game you were in. You scored 3 points in the fucking opener for the NFL. How is that okay in saying, I still trust Trubisky, and I'm going to stick with him? No, fuck you, Matt Nagy. You're killing your defense.
You know what? And it just popped into my head, and it's probably something that should have been discussed at some point or another. When Matt Nagy sits down with his staff and it says, "Look, guys, if we don't soon find a way to get this offense to go, we're all going to be out of a job. We're all going to be out of a job. We're going to hang our hat on Mitchell Trubisky, and he's going to get us fired."
And it just looks like Trubisky's not even trying to get better. Like,
I don't know that he's not trying. Maybe he just doesn't have the tools to be better, period. And it was like you said, he's only played 1 real season, and while it was a good season.
In North Carolina.
It was ACC.
Congratulations, you beat my Dukes 56-24. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Because since then, it hasn't been anything. All right, let's get off your Bears. You're making me mad now.
Let's talk about George Halas, anyway. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Bill Belichick is now third in NFL history with over 300 wins.
He's 24 wins away from George Halas.
From old Papa Bear.
Yep.
And then, of course, above him...
He's going to retire before that.
Then, of course, above him is Don Shula. You have to catch
what? He's at...
3...
347.
Yeah.
All right. So where's Belichick's now at 300? There's 8 more games. Let's just say
did the Steelers just get a turnover? Hold
did
on.
they? I won.
Oh my God! Look at that blocking.
Is that high school?
No, he just got absolutely destroyed. Never mind.
They didn't block anybody.
I'll give you the cold shoulder. Yeah. Bill Belichick is now third with 300 wins now, but
347. That's 3 seasons.
If he wins 12 games per season. Oh wait, no,
that's only 36. That'd be 336. If you average 12 wins per season, it will take him 4 more years to pass.
Oh yeah. They just converted a 3rd and 15, man. Whatever. The next team I want to talk about is the other team that gives me a headache is the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys have lost to some of the worst teams in the NFL right now. You lost to the Atlanta Falcons. Their one win on the season is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Bird Bowl. Falcons versus Eagles.
The Dirty Birds versus the prison vet. That's what and now you go into to Buffalo against Bills Mafia. And you make Josh Allen look like a fucking fool.
Yeah, it was close early, and then all of a sudden it broke open. Yeah.
Against good teams, they are doing good. They're one of the only teams to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
We talked about this yesterday. Do they play up to their talent and then play down to their?
It seriously sounds like it.
And then when you play down, you play so far down that you allow a bad team to hang around and upset you,
like the Lions.
Right. Well, the Lions I don't see as bad. They're not consistent yet. They're just not consistent. And, they've only been under their head coach going on their second season, or their first season together, Matt Patricia. So, there's a lot to be, or is this second? It's his second season, right?
Ooh, Matt Patricia? Yeah, it's his second season.
It's his second season. It's not like you can build a dynasty in 1 week or 1 season. It's just not going to happen.
But you beat the Redskins, you beat the Packers, you beat the Jets, but you lose to the Vikings, Cowboys, and these are also by big margins, and the Falcons, and the freaking who was it? No, that's it. That's who you lost to. But still, like, I don't understand the Eagles because Josh Allen and the Bills, their defense is very good. Yep. But Carson Wentz is not the problem. He really is not. I think it's his team around him.
A lot of dropped balls.
Exactly.
A lot of dropped balls.
And
turnovers.
bad play calling. I don't understand what the deal with this soft play calling is when Carson Wentz, all he wants to do is fucking win. He just give him be aggressive with him, man. Anyway.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't disagree with anything that you've said. They are just completely and wholly inconsistent.
Exactly.
And that's inconsistent from the players themselves and the coaching staff.
Pittsburgh. Converting another long down. Oh, my God. A team I want to talk about. How fucking bad is Cincinnati right now? They played against L.A. in Great Britain, the UK, and Cooper Kupp torched them for 7 catches for over 200 yards. How fucking terrible is this Cincinnati team? They don't have a win on the season.
They want Marvin Lewis back, don't they?
The guy who won 1 playoff game in 15
Doesn't matter.
years.
He was never 0-15, right? 0-16.
I don't know if Zach Taylor can fix this dumpster fire, though.
Yeah.
I really don't think he can because Andy Dalton just doesn't seem like the right guy for him. None of these guys know. They don't even know what a fucking defensive scheme is. This is how bad Cincinnati is right now, and they went up against L.A. Not much to talk about there, but I just wanted to point out just Cincinnati's really fucking bad. Like, they really are.
I think they're not as bad as the Bears, but they're bad.
Bears have some wins, though, Coach.
They don't have any wins. Not in my book, they don't. Holy cripes. Oh, my goodness gracious, CJ. That was about the worst.
How much worse could that get?
Miami scored by bumbling. They literally bumbled into the end zone because Pittsburgh could not tackle.
I know. And I'm well aware, and I'm very upset.
He catches the ball where? He catches it at the 8-yard line.
Yep.
First guy touches him. Two, three, 4. The fourth guy tackles him 2 yards deep. They have nobody. 22. Who the hell is 22? Is that Joe
He's a
Hayden?
cornerback. No, he's 23.
God.
That's
Oh, my God.
All right.
That was really bad.
Can we stop talking about that?
And about the Bears.
Let's go back to just being pissed off. Drew Brees comes back.
Yep.
Teddy Bridgewater has led the Saints to a 5-0 record with him as the quarterback. And now Drew Brees came back against the Cardinals, threw 3 touchdowns. Normal day at the office. He went into the ice bath.
I think Teddy Bridgewater stood out and made a name for himself. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater should be headed to the Bears.
Dude, oh my God, that would be perfect. That really would.
I thought about it yesterday, and I thought, as much as people probably said Teddy Bridgewater got us 5 wins and Drew Brees wasn't here. Okay, shut your face. Drew Brees, the Hall of Famer, the very
all-time passing leader.
The essence of your freaking team is Drew Brees.
The essence of your franchise is Drew Brees.
Right. So shut your face. And Teddy Bridgewater was probably pleased as punch that he played as much as he did for as long as he did, and played as well as he did, because it just set him up for a bigger market share somewhere else. And if you're listening to this show, Matt Nagy, please find Teddy Bridgewater. Get him signed up. Pay that cat some money.
I know. It would be a really special place, especially for that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some more games. Okay, like this game, I really thought that Carolina could at least put some dent in the score.
I wrote a question mark next. I had question marks next to 2 teams. The biggest question mark is the freaking Carolina Panthers. You got one guy. Freaking breaking his neck trying to help your team, and then what?
Yep, that's it.
That's what.
All right.
Christian McCaffrey.
And I know. Run CMC. That's all you got. I really thought that you had a chance against San Francisco. I thought at least with, you guys have won so many games in a row and you guys have looked fantastic. San Francisco draws 50 points on you guys. San Francisco's the real fucking deal, though.
Yeah, they play
really
good defense,
are, man.
Though. And Jimmy G is playing very well right now.
Nick Bosa in that defense is looking stellar, but that's not the number one defense, though, right now. The number one defense is the New England Patriots, and they are doing something historically that other teams haven't. And right now, the Patriots look to be heading towards another undefeated season right now.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think.
Well, fuck you then.
Well, I just watched their offense struggle with 3 and outs in situations that they shouldn't be struggling with. And I think a lot of it has to do with their receiving core. You had Josh Gordon. Flash is gone now. Gordon is gone. You got N'Keal Harry. Your number 1 draft choice. He hasn't done squat Ola yet. You pay for Mohamed Sanu, and Sanu is nowhere to be found.
He just got there like 2 days before, though.
I get all that.
I mean, come on.
I get all that, but I'm saying he's nowhere to be found because there's no consistency in the offense.
Why isn't he wearing
yet.
number 12? Like, who the fuck is wearing that jersey? Come on, man.
You know what I mean? He's just not. He's not ingrained enough just yet to have an impact. But you got to put him out there. And about your only consistent guys, 2 guys are Philip Dorsett and freaking Edelman. And they're carrying you right now. Not getting a ton of production out of the tight ends. Okay, probably more of a blocking.
It's not like the past 10 years with Gronkowski.
Right, with Gronkowski. So it definitely takes a dip. James White, Rex Burkhead, still getting it
and
done.
Sony Michel.
And Sony Michel.
Still triple-headed dragon back
still
there.
getting it done, but not lighting the world on fire. Are they a good football team? Yes. Are they the benchmark for the rest of the teams in the NFL? Hell yeah. But I just don't see them having a perfect season. I think at some point, if the Patriots don't soon iron out their little inconsistencies on offense.
Well, what do you think about this whole situation with
Because
Brady?
You've seen this before. You've seen defenses try to carry a team. Defenses don't carry a team. They don't do that. The offense carries your team. The defense reinforces it and allows your offense to continue its success.
I don't know about that, Coach, because I've watched. No, I'm not completely disagreeing with you, but what I'm saying is that
Sounds like
the best historical defenses. The 1985 Bears did not have the best offense, even though they had Walter Payton.
I get all that.
But they had a defense that absolutely carried them.
Yeah.
They absolutely. And then you look at the 2000 Ravens. Come on, Trent fucking Dilfer. Are you kidding me with that offense? They didn't even carry them at all.
Killed a guy.
You're damn right, and I know he did. I have proof. I have the murder weapon in my house right now.
I'm in front of a microphone. Of course, I'm not lying.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that those 2002 Buccaneers, Brad Johnson, come on, man.
He was okay.
But the point is that these names, these are guys that you're like Jim McMahon, Brad Johnson, and Trent Dilfer. One of those guys is
They made it happen, though. They made something go. The defense just reinforces it and prevents the other team from really making it get out of hand.
But what was the most important out of all those 3 seasons? The final game, the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and in all those games, the MVP went to a fucking defensive player.
I get all that.
Richard Dent, Derek Brooks, and Ray Lewis, and they all solidified themselves as the best defenses ever.
I get all that, but that's about giving.
Themselves.
I know that, but their job is to give the offense more chances. That's what they do.
But the Patriots' defense is the best thing about them right now.
I get that, but I'm telling you that the Patriot offense is not scoring as prolific as they should be scoring, and that's the only thing I'm getting at is if you can't score prolifically, your defense had better be stellar. The only thing that's carrying them, and when you look at these scores, they're scoring on defense. They're consistently scoring on defense.
I know.
You can't maintain that. I don't know.
Well, they maintained it through 8 games of the year.
Yeah, but they played a lot of snowflakes in there. I mean, who have they really played that's been really?
And that has been the caveat.
They played Miami. They played the Jets twice.
Okay, but I'll talk about the Cleveland Browns then. Freddie Kitchens is not the right head coach for this team. He is not. This team is undisciplined. They have no idea. The Cleveland Browns is what I'm saying. Well, get off the Patriots. We know them.
They're good.
The Cleveland Browns
let's just say this,
have had all this hype around them. They came into this season, but everyone talked about the acquisitions. No one talked about the fucking head coach. No one talked about Freddie Kitchens. Oh, well, he led them to 7 wins last year. Yeah. Okay, well, that's because Greg Williams also was the head coach for the interim head coach. It wasn't Freddie Kitchens, okay? Freddie Kitchens has an undisciplined team. They are averaging, this is an average, 10 penalties a game. They are averaging 10 penalties a game. That, by all accounts, is an undisciplined and unintellectual football team right now. And especially against the Patriots, they have 46 penalties. The Patriots. 46 penalties throughout the entire year. The Browns have an average of 80 penalties. That's unbelievable. And Freddie Kitchens,
46 penalties for the year.
I want to say it's something around that margin for the Patriots. But as I was saying, back to back snaps that went badly that ended up in fumbles or interceptions. Back to back.
That's less than 6 penalties a game.
Yeah, okay.
Less than 6.
That's pretty disciplined, if I say so.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get pass interference. You're going to get holding. I mean, or special teams and
blocking the back.
That's another thing that separates the Patriots from a lot of other teams is their special teams. They're very good special teams.
Matthew Slater is a fantastic captain.
They're just very good special teams wise.
But what I see from the Browns is that you've only won 3 games. You haven't proven jack shit.
They won 3? I thought they were like 2-6.
Is it 2 or 3?
I think they're 2-6.
But the Browns got all this hype around them, and so far they haven't done anything. And I can't believe that people said that they absolutely could be Super Bowl
2-5.
2-5.
Yeah.
You're right.
They are.
All right. That they absolutely could be Super Bowl contenders. When in the past 3 years they have won 8 games.
How many did they win last year?
They won 7.
Did they really?
They won 7, 8, and 1. In the past 3 seasons before this year, they were 8, 39, and 1.
They were 1-15 the year before.
They were 0-16 the year before.
They won 1 game then.
Yeah, 0-16 plus 15, that's 31.
And then
plus 8.
7-8.
That's 39-1.
And then they're currently 2-5.
So
28,
11,
54, 11 and 54.
No, what? 11 plus
That's
5.
31 and 13 is 44. They're 11 and 44.
And 1. Because they tied a game against the Steelers. 11, 44, and 1 right now. Now, does that sound like a Super Bowl winning team to you? No.
No. Obviously
And that's
not.
why I got so mad when I heard people talking about that.
Well, that was a joke anyway. For somebody to consider them a Super Bowl, it was not outrageous to think of them as a playoff team.
I still think it was. They still have to compete with the Ravens and the Steelers. I get all that,
but when you look on paper and you sit there and you weigh out what they are on paper, I don't see why. Considering the playoff team was not out of line, especially from 7 and 8, and then you upgraded at receiver with.
Here's the difference, though, of what I saw, what people were saying.
OBJ, so why not?
Here's the difference with what I saw people saying about the Browns, is that they saw what they were able to do when the pressure was off of them last year. When the pressure was basically like, guys, you're the Browns, just go out there and play football. Oh, they won some games? Now they have all these acquisitions? Man, they could be a Super Bowl team. Well, guess what? Now they have the pressure. Now they have people watching them. And guess what? They're still the Browns. It doesn't matter what happens with pressure or not pressure.
They might have the worst uniforms in the NFL.
Might? No, they do. They have the worst helmets in the NFL. It's just
orange.
A freaking orange helmet with a stripe. That's it. That's it.
Well,
it's a smoothie with a little turd in the middle of it. That's all it is.
Yep, turd brown.
A couple
That's
more.
What it is.
We'll do one more game because we're running out of time here.
All right.
The other team that I wanted to talk about is Green Bay right now. Aaron Rodgers has my MVP vote right now. He really does because
he's good.
He is the man right now. He really has been. He threw 5 touchdowns against Oakland in a perfect quarterback rating, and then he goes into Kansas City last night, throws 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against Kansas City. Even though that's not saying much, he's still doing it right on primetime games, and he's leading his team to a 7-2 record right now. So I'd say that's pretty damn good for an MVP vote right now.
Hey, no doubt Aaron Rodgers is playing at the top of his game.
Excuse me, 7-1. The only team they lost to, Philly. That's the only team they've lost to. Of all teams, Philly. So, and then Kansas City. Man, Kansas City. They're still going to win their division. I 100% believe they will. Because they have Denver, who is Denver. They have L.A., the Chargers, who is L.A., the Chargers. And then they have Oakland, who would be the other team to basically fight them. But other than that, they don't. The Chiefs look to be the team in the West to get the seed, to get the wild card seed. But not the wild card, but they'll have to play in the first round. But other than that, the week of games honestly was kind of boring. You had teams going up against teams that were supposed to win. You had Seattle against fucking Atlanta. I'm so surprised that Dan Quinn hasn't been fired.
I'm not sure why. I felt the same way. I think we talked about that last week, if I remember correctly.
I thought he would be fired by now.
I really thought he would.
Then you also have Tampa Bay versus Tennessee. I don't care, man. I just don't care.
If crab legs were involved, I'd be more interested, but it's not.
Sorry. And then you also have the Broncos versus Colts. It looks like the Broncos might be tanking, maybe for a better player right now.
The Colts, to me, though, they're no freaking cakewalk. That's for damn sure. I really liked what Frank Reich is doing with those guys. Did they just get a turnover?
No. He fumbled it, but they recovered it. But it's 4th down. So the Steelers are down 14-0, and they're not doing jack shit. All right, I'm getting mad. So let's move on to Hops of the Week now. Yeah. My one Hops of the Week, I'll start off.
I got 3.
I got 2. My one Hops of the Week is ISIS. I'm not gonna get into politics. I'm not. But the United States and the armed forces have officially killed KIA the head leader of ISIS, the most notorious terrorist group in the world right now. He has officially been killed by the United States. Donald Trump gave the executive order, and now ISIS is now officially gone due to their leader being executed now.
Well, you know as well as I do that
I'm not going to get into politics, but
they got to
Go
regenerate.
America.
They got to
Go
cool.
America.
When you take down those cats, that's always good. But
Yep.
you know as well as I do, they have regeneration powers. What does he say?
He's calling a penalty on Miami.
Nice.
So, but all I have
What's
to
your
say
other
is,
one?
my other one is tailgating. It was fun to fucking tailgate this past weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah, I haven't tailgated in over a year, honestly, and it was good to go back to my alma mater and tailgate and see a good football game. A lot of people there. I got to see some former players that I knew very well.
Yeah.
I got to see some old professors. I got to see some old friends. It was a good time.
Did you get loaded?
Tailgating. Yeah, of course. I said that at the beginning of the show that
I'm saying you really got loaded.
I didn't get hammered. I was the designated driver, but I was very buzzed for the most of the time.
I was a designated driver, and I was buzzed, really.
Yeah, I really was. But I got there. We got there like 4 hours before the game started, and so I had time to get the buzz worn off and sit at the
okay.
game and just drink water. So yeah,
Okay.
those are my 2 hops of the week.
All right.
Go America.
Go America. America. All right, my hops of the week. Modern Warfare, the new game is out.
Yeah, I'm playing it too.
People are smashing it. I'm excited. There's a lot to learn. There's a high
I'm giving
learning
it
curve.
hope. It is a faded diamond right now. It just needs some bumps taken out of it, and it could be better. It really can.
The one thing I gotta say is,
If you camp, go fuck
yeah,
yourself.
my damn campers. Those motherfuckers are ruining the game for me. But Modern Warfare, I'm enjoying myself. It's not to say that I won't go back and play some Black Ops 4, which I really enjoyed. My next one is Hold My Beer on Twitter. If you're not watching Hold My Beer on Twitter, you don't know what funny is. I enjoy myself.
You need to hold my beer. That's what you need to do.
Hold my beer and watch me do this. And then sometimes, now, granted, there's some really dumb ones on there, and then there's some really funny ones. And then there's ones where you just shake your head and go, who the hell came up with that? How cool is that? So Hold My Beer on Twitter is really good. Hold My Beer While I Do Whatever is good. And then finally, I'm really, really excited about Zombieland Double Tap.
I really want to see it too.
I want to see it. We're gonna be another week away, I think, before you and I get a chance to go see it. Maybe this Sunday.
I think we're going to see the Terminator this Sunday.
Are we?
I thought that's what we were going to do is go see the Terminator.
Terminator and Zombieland might be a toss-up.
Guns, blood, woo, beer.
Zombies, beer, blood, it's all good.
Terminator, Arnold, yeah, it's just
Get
all
to the
great.
chopper. Yeah, I don't care. I just really like the Zombieland. I love the cast. I think that was a perfect cast.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson meshes very good with Jesse Eisenberg. I think like the first one was so unique in a way to where it took a funny stance on zombies.
Yeah.
And fucking Twinkies.
And Bill Murray.
And Bill fucking Murray, and it took it to the house. And I hope they continue it in Double Tap.
I hope it's really good.
Yeah, I hope
it looks
so
good.
I'm sure
it looks like a lot of fun.
I'm no critic.
I'd heard some people talking today. Some of my players were thinking that the Terminator has run its course and that you can't have 3, 4, 5 movies about the Terminator. And I said, I think this one's the capper. I think it's going to be really good. Because now you can't go after the original characters anymore after this one, and this, quite frankly, probably ends the franchise. So it better be good, kind of thing.
No, it's just
yeah, I'm good. So Modern Warfare, I'm excited about the new game. I already have my machine gun all the way up to I'm a light machine gun guy, and so my light machine gun is already at a 40. I'm already at 40 on my light machine gun, and I'm excited. I'm ready to freaking rip the piss out of that gun. It's so good. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Anything else to add, Coach?
No, I'm good, man. It's almost time for bed.
Monday.
I gotta get
it's
up
Monday
early
night. We got to get out of here.
I got to walk at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Fuck. All right. Well, from all of us here at Pub Talk, it's Coach and CJ.
Yeah,
we're
man.
in the pub. I got to go watch my Steelers get their ass kicked. But thank you for joining us.
Hey,
once
see
again.
you guys. See ya.
Once again, peace out. Love you guys.
Peace out.